I don't know why you guys watch these things. I don't know why I watch these things either. 52 minutes. Sorry about that. I hauled this thing out for no reason whatsoever. and the Ziploc that it came in, a massively huge Ziploc in storage. And I just finished putting it together. I know this is my original because it has numbers on the actual, because every one of my minifigs was numbered and they all had names in the story. So, is it the greatest classic space set of all time? Debatable. Is it up there? Oh yeah. There are certain things I'll never ever forget. Buying the monorail off the shelf at Zellers, it was just like the dream. Buying this one off the shelf. The box was gorgeous. The build was gorgeous. The set itself was gorgeous. It's just an utterly fantastic model from top to bottom. There's nothing wrong with this set. I did a review on it. You can go probably find things that I said that were wrong with it. I can't remember any of them right now because I just put it back together. I love the thing. But when I put it together for the review, I put a whole bunch of sets together before I got to 6989. Again, there's only 6990 and 6991 after this. So this is the last of the, no, not production, but the 6980 series was the biggest sets up until the 6990 series, and there's only 2 in the 6990 series. So 6980 to 6989, this is 6989. Now, I had done 6880 to 6991, and so I had built a lot of sets prior to this one that required this part in black. And so by the time I got to rebuilding this one out of my collection, because I know I bought it off the shelf, so I know I should have been able to put it together, I didn't have one of these. You can see there's a little, let me just lift this up. There's a white one right inside there. You can see it. So I ordered a bunch of these off of some Bricklink store when I was ordering something else, and they've been sitting in the bin for half a year now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish building this one in its entirety and with the right colors. Again, for no reason whatsoever, because I have no reason to do this at all. No justification coming up. So take that out there. That comes out. That comes out. That comes out. Out comes the white one. Now I can put this back in the monorail because I was missing the white ones for the monorail. Which is just, that was just so painful. It's like I built this one and then I didn't have the parts for the monorail. It's just like, it is what it is. So that goes on top there and that goes there. You go there. Come on, there we go. And now, and this guy goes in here. Oh, see how? That goes on top. And this goes on top here. And now I have a foot. Hey. I should have done it this way. I didn't forget it. Pop off. Okay. Now I'm fully complete. Mega core magnetizer. That's all the right colored pieces. And I actually had to replace the this guy too, because I had a solid black one on there when I reconstituted it. Because again, I was out of that one because I did the Alpha Centauri bases and all the other things that took this piece that I never built before, and I didn't have the spare parts in my collection. So yeah, I even found the air tanks. Yay! Or the whatever, but that thing that came out of my collection. I just reorganized stuff and I found them and said, oh, I need those for this thing. So I put them aside for this. Now I have one fully complete mega core magnetizer. Now, on a completely 100% unrelated to this thing at all, we'll put this thing aside for no reason whatsoever. So I had a Bricklink order the other day where I got these two things. and I got this thing and I got these things. And I started pulling parts for, I don't know, some set. Not this guy. That goes into the Exploring Starship. So, mail call. Yay! So mail call. I already opened the box and grabbed this thing. And It came before the show, the Anime North, so I didn't bother opening it until now. Well, I'm on the phone, or in the show, in the room. And I already threw out the box, so I can't tell you who sent it to me, but because they got my Bricklink order. Let's do that for a sec before I open it. So this is Bricklink order. What did I order? Just to make sure. Dave, Lego, not Lugnet, right before Lugnet, or right after Lugnet, because Lugnet's always the #1 bookmark. Lugnet, nobody goes there besides me. Bricklink, log in. I should be logged into this one. Oh, for the love of everything. Hopefully it stays. Don't send me a thing to my browser. Don't send me a thing to my browser. Good. I hate when that happens. Orders 2. They've been waiting on this. I have 2 orders, both from Europe, somewhere in Europe. One was placed on May 13th and one was placed on May 1st. This is the May 1st order, and I got it, I think, a week before the show. So it took about 2 weeks to get here. My issue was that I was so busy on the show that that I didn't get around to. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces in here. What? I thought I ordered some other stuff. So let's see what this order is. Pieces ordered. Oh, there are 3 or 4 other pieces. There's nothing left in here. I want to make sure because I have other things. So he wants to put it inside here. Looks like they did. Let's unwrap, and you can already see what it is. At one point, I did have 2 of these in my collection. My first one, of course, I got with the Megacore magnetizer. My second one, I got acquiring used lots. I never went to Bricklink for one of these. I went to Bricklink for the trans yellow quarter dome and sometimes the trans blue quarter dome. But I already had a trans neon green quarter dome, and one of my used lots, I will not be able to remember at all which one it came in, but it wasn't the Megacore magnetizer. Well, it only came in, the rest of the Megacore magnetizer wasn't there because I didn't have the tires. Or these guys. And the thing is that, oh, that's mint. Well, this guy has one of those little shrink things, which is great. So let's get this thing apart. And there we go, there we go. And what I did was I ordered the parts and pieces that I might need for other things. And for this one, I didn't even bother, honestly. I was on the page anyway. I didn't even bother checking my collection to see if I have these. I may have had these already in my collection, but since I was ordering this guy and I was ordering these guys because I had run out of those guys, that and he had these 2 for stupid cheap money. That let's see, 72 cents. That's nothing. So 1 of those there, 2 of those there, 5 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and thankfully I already refurbished my robot command centers. So with another order, so these 5 are going to be spares. I'm trying not to break anymore. Wah, wah. And then 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. Maybe I counted. Let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9. Enough. Ah! Did I leave it? No, didn't leave it. Don't. Only got 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Did he send me an email? I only had 9. I'll have to check that out. 9 out of 10. And these things were 27 cents a piece. So again, this thing was $27. $27. That's fine. I needed it. I had one. I gave it to a friend years ago, so I am not worried about that at all. And I don't think it was nearly as good as this one. So, and he said he wanted to make his own Megacore magnetizer because he didn't have one. There you go. So I spent $27 to build. I mean, I'm not going to build a second one. Why on earth would I want to build a second Megacore magnetizer? Anywho, so that is Bricklink order number 1 complete. And then I got another one this week, right the day we left for the show. So I'm going to hide my address. There you go. Nice little package. And on this one, I remembered that, and again, it was a complete oversight on my part. And again, I'm going to be surprised because I'm going to be pulling the parts from my collection, and not tonight because it's already late. That I actually checked, and I had no more 8x8
radar dishes, which needs to be for that thing. Again, I didn't order it for that. And I said, well, I'm on that guy's Bricklink store. I'm going to order more parts and pieces. Again, I mentioned that I ran out of these, so I think I got a couple Galaxy Explorers that have 1x2s instead of 1x4. So I was going to replace those. And I ordered a bunch more of these tails because I ran out of them. I do not have any more after reconstituting 10 928s and 10 924s and 10 918s. I don't have any anymore. Anywho, it's a hobby. It is a hobby, and it's my hobby, and I'm happy I'm doing it. So those are 2 Bricklink orders, and that's what I ordered too. So seven of these. He had 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, and 10 of those. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 10. I'm gonna see in my messages if he said 9 magnet holders, and if he didn't, I'm not gonna care overall. I'm not gonna put a red mark beside his name. I got these in a timely fashion, and I need to blow my nose, and I don't have any Kleenexes here. Oh, there's one on my desk. Excuse me. I'm still. That was fun. Do it on camera, I say. So anywho, I think I got some work cut out for me in the near future. Now, here's the other point. Again, not building a second mega core magnetizer. At least not in the next 2 weeks anyway, because I'm going to be busy getting ready for Niagara Falls Comic Con, and I have a little bit of work to do. And the good part is we are fixing the garage, and we're going to put better cabinets and shelves in the garage. So we had to remove everything from the wall of the garage, and so this is where I would normally store the layout against that wall that we're rebuilding. So I started taking everything down on Wednesday and Thursday, and then I loaded the van with the boxes so they would not be in the way for the stuff taken down the rest of the wall. And so when I came home, I can't put the boxes back there because now that wall is clear, and I'm going to take it down on drywall, and I'm going to reinsulate it and fix a few other things, rewire some stuff, because right now, unfortunately, all the plugs along that wall are on one circuit, including the microwave and the air fryer. And so when both are on, the breaker goes. And kitchens, you're supposed to have every single plug on a separate circuit. That didn't happen here years ago when it was built. C'est la vie. So when I've taken out the back of the wall, so the kitchen is, of course, the wall I'm talking about is shared with the kitchen. When I take the drywall off the wall from the garage side, I'm going to take out all the insulation because it's from 1970, whatever. I'm going to reinsulate it. But at that point, when the insulation's down and the drywall is down from the outside, because I could have done it from the inside, but then I'm taking down the backsplash, and it's going to make a mess of the kitchen, and blah, blah, blah. So now I'm going to have full access from the garage side, so the plugs are going to be right there. And I actually have a pony panel that I put into the garage, a 220 volt pony panel, with the original intent of welding, but that kind of went away because I'm more of a woodworker. And so from my pony panel, I ran 4 plugs along my workbench, and each separate plug on each plug is on a separate circuit. 8 breakers, each plug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because there's four receptacles, but I broke off the little tab, so each plug itself, and I ran 12-3. 12-3. 12, so red, black, and ground. So each plug itself, each receptacle itself, is on a separate circuit. And so I got room left on the pony panel. And if I'm cooking, I'm not in the garage, so I won't be running my power tools. And honest to goodness, I'm looking back at it now. Back in the day when I did the garage, there weren't too many battery-operated power tools. It was all power. I mean, I got my uncle's old table saw from 1904, and my dad's radial arm saw from 1970, whatever, and my wood lathe from 1950. So my wood lathe, Beaver wood lathe from Guelph, Ontario, and the thing is stamped 1958. Which requires, 3/4 horsepower. That draws amperage, and especially the radial arm saw or the table saw, because the table saw is old and the motor's old, and it's powerful beyond belief. It cuts through everything. The issue is that on startup, and in the winter time, when I had a fuse panel downstairs here, when I first moved in, I would blow a fuse, like all the time, just blow a fuse. Turning on the table saw. When it's going, it's fine, but turning it on, it draws a big, huge spike of amperage, and son of a pop, go down and replace the fuse. I ended up putting 20 amp fuses in there. Shh, don't tell anybody. But in the end, I got the whole fuse panel replaced with breakers. And that's when I ran a 20 panel into the garage. I didn't do the breakers. I didn't do the main panel itself. I hired somebody professional. I did take my electrical class all the way through high school. And I worked with, and I was going to be an apprentice, but I went into computers inside. So I do my own minor electrical work in the house, but I'm not doing panels. But I did do the pony panel, because how hard is that? It's a couple words. and here's a quick tangent. So Sandy and I were renovating the basement, our first major reno in the house. It had a drop ceiling that we took down and took all the tracks down. It was disgusting. It was filthy. It was like putrid up there with the amount of mice poop, because this on the escarpment, and mice were just cohabitating in his house until I stopped that. And we were putting up a drywall ceiling, and I said, wait, whoa. If I'm putting up a drywall ceiling, then I'm gonna have to bury in the ceiling, because we are talking about moving the kitchen at that time into another area. And if I wanted to, when we do the kitchen reno, which after a few years of the basement reno, then I'm gonna have to run a 220 volt cable from the panel to where we're gonna put the stove, the new stove, because it ain't gonna be by the old stove. Like, it's across the room from the old stove. And the old stove, anyway, going to the old stove was aluminum 12.3, and it was like, or 8.3. It's like 2.5 inches diameter. Like it's buried in the joist in the basement. When we took down the ceiling, there's this big white cable, aluminum, going to where the stove used to be. It's still there, so if I actually get it out of my ceiling, I could probably make a lot of money taking it to the scrap dealership, because it's huge. And so I had to go to Home Depot, and I said, well, I'm here anyway, buying 220 or 12. All right, sorry, I bought 8.3. Yeah, way over. I bought 40 feet. I think I bought 40 feet. That I was going to cut in half, 20 feet. That's about right from there. Maybe it was 50 feet. So I buried a 25-foot run to where we're going to put the stove, and I buried a run to right beside the garage to drill through the garage to put the pony panel. And that was $300 at the time. Now it's way more than that, but this is 18 years ago, it was before Josh was here. And at that point, we were still debating whether or not we were going to move the kitchen, but we had to finish the ceiling in the basement. And I wasn't going to rip down the ceiling after we did it to run the wire for the kitchen and run the wire for the pony panel. So I went out and spent $300+ to buy a length of 220 volt 14 or 8.3, buried it, coiled it up, put it where in the laundry room for the stove, and put it in the hallway, in the ceiling, in the hallway in the basement, to where we're going to put the pony panel going into the garage. And it sat there. The coil sat there for long, connected, well, not wired into the into the main breaker panel, but it was sitting there right beside, coiled up again, ready to come into the, and then we did the kitchen first before I did the garage. We did the kitchen, and so it was just a year or two after. By the way, this is where this comes in. The day Josh was born is when we were renovating the main floor. We started in March. Josh wasn't due until May. We started in March, and by the time Josh showed up, I had the new stove, or the new area for the stove over there. So I got to pull the wire up for where the stove was going. It's just because, and it was fine. But it was, I said, and then we did the pony panel a while after that, so that they only spent $300, and they just sat in the joist in the basement for a long time. And I kept on thinking, I should do something with those things. But it was fun. I don't even know how I started off in this tangent. So Oh, right, because so we're taking the wall down in the garage, just the drywall. It's old drywall from 1970, whatever. We're taking the drywall down. We're pulling out the insulation. Gonna take it to the dump, and then I'm going to take each receptacle in the kitchen that is on that wall. There's 3 of them. Bing, bing, boom. And I'm gonna run the wires back to the pony panel, which is right in the garage. I'm not taking the kitchen wires downstairs because it's got a longer run, and I'm drilling through the wall to get into the house again. I'll have access to the back of these receptacles from the garage side, so I don't have to disturb the backsplash or anything. This is going to make my life a lot easier to just run it to the pony panel in the garage. So again, my pseudo brilliance of putting a pony panel in the garage, unintended consequences or unintended serendipity, which is the whole meaning of serendipity in the first place. It's serendipitous that I put the pony panel in the garage, just so when I'm renovating the kitchen now, again, that I can just run the wires over there. And I'm going to need like 7 feet of wire per plug to get it over there because it's just right against the same wall, basically. Looking forward to that. The thing I am slightly trepidatious about is, again, I went over and above with the pony panel, going to the plugs in the garage, which the builders didn't bother doing, is I got armored cable, even though I didn't have to, because it goes up into the ceiling and then comes down along the wall where the plugs are along my workbench. I used armored cable, and I think that is actually code in a space like the garage. I'm glad I did it, but I'm not going to put armored cable from the kitchen plugs to the pony panel because it's going to be in the wall itself. I'm going to drill through the wall, all the studs in the wall, and then re-insulate it afterwards. And so it's only going to pop out at the pony panel to go into the pony panel. So I'm not sure if I should get a conduit to run the wires through to get into the pony panel. I don't know codes specifically, so I'm still debating that, just to make it so you don't see just 14.3 or 14.2 going from coming out a hole in the drywall and going into the pony panel. I'll work it out, but that's my big reno that I'm gonna be doing, but I won't be doing that soon. I have to get ready for a show in 2 weeks. But after that, the rest of the summer is going to do renos around the house. I'm going to do the kitchen wall. I got to fix the basement stuff. We're going to do reno each room in the house again, repaint, take down some railings, put up some nice things, do the stairwell, fix it up. It was mint at one point after saying I put a lot of effort into it 3 or 4 years before Josh showed up. And then for the last 15 years, it's been used. And there's a lot of, again, just like everything else, I noticed the deficiencies. Nobody else does. But we're going to spend some time this summer renovating stuff around the house. And I'm looking forward to it because I kind of like that kind of crap. So anyway, that's a quick video. I have a full megacore magnetizer. I have some surprisingly non-intended extra parts for a megacore magnetizer. So there's no surprise really next. But again, that's not going to happen this week. I have to get this desktop cleaned off, put that over there. And I'm going to start pulling out my bases, and I'm going to start working on the bases, the base plates level, so I can run that wire, those four wires back to the RC axis and figure that out and make it look pretty, because it didn't look pretty at the show. Excuse me. That's it. That's all. Nice quick video-ish. And I'll talk to you guys soon.